Chapter 36 Is faced Myrna, her archenemy. You can't change the way the world works, Myrna sneered at Iz, and Iz smiled. That's where you're wrong, Myrna. There are new forces at work, and the change has already begun. Harmony nudged me under the table. Marco Vega was entering the cafeteria. I sat up straight. He looked around, and his look stopped on me. He headed our way, past the popular table and over to ours. Uh-oh. I hadn't exactly let Marco know I was over him. All of this no more Marco for me had gone on in my own brain. Not that we were ever totally together or anything. It had been a weird relationship from the start. I hoped he wouldn't be heartbroken or anything. Just kidding. You okay? Harmony whispered, seeing me watch Marco. After study hall, I'd walked with her to her locker and filled her in on my lack of feelings for Marco. He just wasn't for me, I told her. Oh well. Hey dudes, he said, sitting down. Jamie, I've got something to tell you. Yeah, I said. I have something to tell you too. I had to tell him it wasn't working out. No more dates, no more phone conversations. Yawn. There'd be no Jamie Bartlett Vega and 2.5 children in our future. I'll let you two chat, Harmony said and left. This is going to sound really bad. Marco started talking first. But I think you're a really nice girl. No, actually that doesn't sound bad at all, I cracked. Now that I didn't like him, I could actually speak to him. Not feeling nervous around Marco was very liberating. Well, what I mean is this. I was hanging out with you for a reason. Sawyer kind of made me do it. But I thought you and Sawyer were over. Totally done. She was never going to speak to you again, I said. Oh, that, he said. No, she calls me every night, like 7 times. Huh? See, he continued, you know Sawyer wants to be a celebrity. You know, like she did that news show and all that. But the Myrna thing wasn't getting her anywhere because people kept asking her if she really was really such a bitch in real life. So she thought if you and I went out, then maybe I could get famous with you. Then I would be discovered. Like a photographer or someone would say, Jamie's boyfriend needs to be a model or an actor or something. So anyway, Marco continued, she said once I got discovered, then we could lose you and I could go back with her in public. Then she could get discovered too, and me and her would both get famous together. Okay, huh? I said. I'm confused. First, I got famous, so then you would get famous, and then Sawyer would get famous from that? I guess so, Marco said. I wasn't really paying attention. That's a pretty complicated plan, I said. There's more, Marco said, looking down at his hands. Then I was going to dump you, and it would be all over the news, like Jamie's boyfriend dumps her hard for Sawyer Sullivan, and she'd look good and you'd look bad. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Just stop nagging me. Geez, she was like my mother or something. Didn't you feel bad that I was going to get the raw end in this deal? I asked. See, I didn't think it would get this far, Marco said. I thought you'd say no when I asked you out in the first place. I mean, you're all smart and a big author, and I'm, into cars and stuff. But once you said yes, then Sawyer was like, you have to do this. And it got all messed up. Whoa. Marco thought I wouldn't want to go out with him? Anyway, sorry, Marco said. Oh, but I did want to kiss you that one time. You have cute lips. Well, why are you telling me all this now? I said. Sawyer making you do it? Actually, Sawyer doesn't know I'm saying all this. She's going to kill me for breaking up with you before she's famous. But I was talking to your friend Harmony in gym today, and how I was sick of Sawyer trying to boss me around. So Harmony told me I should tell you the truth, and that I wouldn't be breaking your heart or anything like that. So I hope you're not too pissed at me. I'm sorry, dude. No, I sighed. I'm not mad at you. I know how easy it is to let Sawyer get her way. Yeah, he kind of sighed too. Well, good luck, I said, knowing full well Sawyer would be publicly back on with Marco by the end of the school day. I mean, he was the most popular guy in our grade, and he was serious eye candy. I should tell Marco to read Is, so he could get some spine and stand up to Sawyer. Wait, I said. Shouldn't we make it so I dumped you? Then Sawyer wouldn't be so mad at you because you didn't do anything wrong. Tell her I dumped you for, Ryder Donovan or something. Yeah, that was better. It would save me a little pride. And then when he went back to Sawyer, it would be like she was getting my leftovers. Okay, so not mature of me. Sure, no prob, Marco said, already taking off. I watched him walk away towards Sawyer. He was still yummy, but I was really over him now. I flicked Sawyer a couple times from under the table on Marco's behalf. He needed the protection. Harmony, Lindsay, and I were at our lockers after lunch. Lindsay was telling us about her new idea. So, Senora Goldstein told us about the new after-school kickboxing class she'd been teaching, Lindsay said. At first, I was like, me? Kickboxing? But then I was thinking about Isabella doing martial arts and feeling strong and powerful. And Jamie, after you talked to me about, everything, I just made up my mind. That's awesome, I told her. And I'm not even doing it just because of the whole weight thing, Lindsay said. I know I need to exercise, but Senora also said that it's a great way to relieve stress. If my dad gets on my case, then I can be like, pow, kick. I mean, not him, of course, the punching bag. So I'm going to go sign up now, Lindsay continued. See ya. Go, Lindsay. Harmony and I high-fived her as she took off. I had my head in my locker to find my notebook when I heard someone going, moo, moo. I looked up. I could see Margaret Adams a couple lockers down from me. She was wearing one of her usual outfits, a long, flowy flowered dress. Her hair was in braids today. Hey, Laura Ingalls. Pa wants you home to milk the cows, Sawyer was saying really loud. Jennifer One was going moo, moo. Harmony and I looked at each other. What a loser, Sawyer cracked up. A loser. Okay, enough was enough. I've had it with that, Sawyer, I heard myself saying. I'm going to say something. I shut my locker. Wait, Harmony said. Jamie, just wait a sec. Look at Margaret. What? Did she just mean that we should stand there and watch Margaret burst into tears like she always did when Sawyer abused her? But Margaret was doing the double flick, the most powerful flick for courage and strength. Flick, 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 flick. Moo! Sawyer and Jennifer One were still cracking themselves up. Then they noticed Margaret was just standing there, not moving except for her hands. And Margaret was just looking at them. Like, excuse me, but are you speaking to me? Moo! Jennifer kept going. And Sawyer goes, something smells like cow manure. Oh, it's Margaret. But Margaret just stood there with a kind of smile on her face. Sawyer looked at Margaret. Margaret looked back at Sawyer. Flick, 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 flick. Oh, come on, Jennifer, Sawyer snarled. We're late for gym. Jennifer One started mooing again, but Sawyer goes, shut up, Jennifer. Margaret walked off the other way, and you know what? Now she was really smiling. And when Sawyer and Jennifer 1 were all the way around the corner, Margaret let out a big, huge laugh. Flick, flick, you're going to lose. You're a loser, a loser, Myrna screamed, and she got smaller and smaller until she disappeared from the face of the earth. Iz dusted off her hands. She turned to walk away, and that's when she noticed a girl who had seen the whole thing. Wow, said the girl. I wish I could do that. Oh, but you can, Iz told her. Every girl, any girl has the power within her to flick. The girl curled her hand into a fist, and then she flicked. Chapter 37. After school, I headed out toward the buses. Harmony told me to wait for her, so I walked up the hill out front where you could see everyone leaving school. There was a wall, so I jumped up and sat on it to wait. I was heading over to her house for the Welcome Home Harmony party, and Raj was coming up from the city for the occasion. I was finally going to meet Raj. Harmony's dad was making his famous pasta picnic. Maybe there'd be cake for dessert. Yum. Maybe things were getting back to normal. There was Allie, heading out with Duh. She saw me and waved. I waved back. Lindsay and Malik were walking out together. It looked like she was showing him some kickboxing moves. Kick, kick. Lindsay and Malik? Malik karate chopped her back. Lindsay and Malik? Yes, they were so definitely flirting. Hey, Jamie Bartlett. Oh, great. Sawyer Sullivan and her slave Jennifer 1 were heading my way. I hope you enjoyed borrowing my boyfriend for a while, Sawyer said. It's not like Marco ever really liked you or anything, you know. He was just faking it, Jennifer added. Gee, thanks for sharing. And Marco told me all about your kiss, so don't think he keeps any secrets from me. Of course he only kissed you because he felt sorry for you, Sawyer said. And it's not like he would have tried to go any further than first base. I mean, what's the use of going to second base when there's nothing there to go for? Get it? 'Cause you have no chest. Jennifer added helpfully. Oh, ha, ha, ha. This would be a good time for a nice double flick. Oh, what the heck. Flick, flick. They were still laughing. I pictured Sawyer shrinking away into nothingness. I smiled at the thought, and then stopped smiling, because I knew what I needed to do. It had to be done, and now was the time. I jumped down off the wall. Hey, Sawyer, I said, I need to talk to you for a second. What? Sawyer asked suspiciously. In private. Just for a minute, I said. Stay calm, Jamie. Stay cool. Flick, flick. Sawyer waved Jennifer 1 away. Okay, what? You've got 5 seconds, she said, looking at her watch. I looked her right in the eye. I don't know why you don't like me, but okay, you don't, I told her. Fine, but we can treat each other with some respect, okay? Okay, that's all. You've obviously mistaken me for someone who cares, Sawyer said with an exaggerated yawn. Look, we both know you've got some funny put-downs, I said. Why should anyone bother going to second base with you? That's pretty funny, actually. What? You think you just say that and that's going to stop me, Sawyer said. I looked right at her. Yeah, I do. You can stop now, I said. Sawyer just stood there looking like, what's going on here? I think the buses are leaving. You better go, I said, trying not to let my voice shake. Sawyer looked at the buses. Jennifer 1 had already gone ahead. Then Sawyer looked at me. She looked like she was going to say something, but then she just turned around and walked really fast down the hill. I let out a huge breath. I was shaking. OMG. I can't believe I just did that. As Sawyer walked toward her bus, farther and farther down the hill, she looked smaller and smaller. So that's how the double flick worked. Okay, I'm not completely naive. I knew Sawyer wasn't gone from my life forever, but for now at least, she was walking away. Sawyer walked past the first bus, and all of a sudden, a fist shot out the bus window. Then out of the second bus, a couple of fists. OMG, they were flicking Sawyer. Flick, flick, flick. And Sawyer bounced on, having no clue she had left a trail of flicking fists behind her. Okay, maybe Kimberly was wrong about the Myrnas always winning. Yeah, sometimes they do. But sometimes, maybe sometimes, they just think they do. And the rest of us, all of the rest of us, know better. As I settled back on the wall, my pager went off. Jamie, call me ASAP. Your book is going to be made into a movie. Leslie. OMG, my book. Is going to be made into a movie. A movie. I was going to see Iz on the big screen. OMG. Who would play Isabella? What would I wear to the premiere? OMG, OMG. Boom. I lost my balance and fell right off the wall backward. Oof. Whoops. Sorry, Connor said, jumping over the wall and trying to help me up. Okay, can we pretend that didn't happen? I said, totally red-faced. I pulled myself up back on the wall, mortified. Is this seat reserved? Connor asked, pointing to the spot next to me. Well, I'm meeting Harmony any second, but yeah, you can sit there until she gets here, I told him. Let's see what I can do for an encore to make a fool of myself, I thought. I looked sideways at Connor. At this angle, he kind of looked like Josh Hartnett. I wanted to say thanks for everything you did for Jennifer, Connor said. She called me last night and told me what was going on. I didn't know anything about that guy. I can't believe she would have been so stupid. Yeah, well, I don't think she was thinking straight. Her parents were really getting to her, and her so-called friends, too, I said. Yeah, I know, Connor said. My mom's known Jen's mom since college. When my dad left us, that's who my mom cried to. Then when my parents got back together and we moved here, my mom started hanging out with Jen's mom again. And Jen told me about her mom and stepfather always fighting. It's pretty ugly. I hope it's all going to get better for her, I said. Yeah, me too, Connor said. My parents told me that her family's going to go to counseling, and they might be able to press charges or something against the internet guy. I guess he was saying some pretty intense stuff to Jennifer. So anyway, thanks a lot for everything you did for her. I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Jeez. Well, I didn't do all that much, I said. Yes, you did. I mean, for starters, Jennifer emailed you for advice and for help, Connor said. She's lucky you were there for her. I thought about how I had blown off her emails for a while. I wasn't so helpful at first, I told him. Now I know if I get emails like that, I'm going to get someone to help me. That was so way out over my head. He sat in silence, or we sat in silence. I remembered the silence when I was with Marco, like I couldn't think of anything to say. This felt different, just comfortable. Jennifer's pretty nice when she's not around Sawyer Sullivan. Like in our writing critique group that one day. She was nice. She's a good writer, too. Yeah, she is, Connor said. I know she wants to be a writer someday. Maybe you can help her out. You know, so she learns to write better. Me? Help her? I said. You thought my stories suck, and hers was so great. Connor looked at me. Okay, my story did kind of suck, I said. You weren't really into what you were writing. When you care about something, your writing is amazing. Okay, I was turning red again. I hope Jennifer didn't hurt you too much, I blurted out. What? You know, because she was leaving you for another guy. I can't believe I just said that. I don't get it, Connor looked at me. Well, leaving you to go to San Francisco to be with the internet creep. Connor just looked at me like, what was I talking about? Aren't you and Jennifer, together? Me and Jen? Connor said. Nah, we're just thrown together because our mothers have been friends so long. She's like a cousin or something. Anyway, she's not my type. Oh, it's just you guys seem close. Always class partners, all that, I said. She needed someone to talk to, Connor said, and she didn't have to pretend everything was okay with me. But there's something going on with us or anything. But there's nothing going on with us or anything. Oh, one thing's for sure, she's definitely got to break away from Sawyer, he said. I thought about my friends, Lindsay and... I thought about my friends, Lindsay and of course Harmony. They stuck by me no matter what, and how Jennifer didn't even have parents she could count on. I turned back into what Connor was saying. If Jennifer could spend a little time with you and your friends, maybe she'd figured that out, Connor said. You guys might be a good influence on her. Thanks, I said. That was a nice thing to say. Wow, did you just say thanks? Connor teased me. Oh, I guess I do have a hard time taking compliments, I admitted. Well, we'll just have to work on that. We'll practice. Here, you're funny. You're an awesome writer, and you have really nice eyes. I looked at him. Really? You think I have nice eyes? I squeaked. He had nice eyes, too. Nice a lot of things. Yeah, I like your eyes, Connor said. A lot. He was looking really hard at me. I was holding my breath. I looked away and saw the buses. The buses were leaving. I saw the first bus start to pull out. I gotta catch my bus, I said. I'm supposed to meet... Hey, wait a minute. There was Harmony, hanging out the bus window and waving at me. What the... Actually, Connor said, I hope you don't mind, but I kind of asked Harmony if I could give you a ride to her house. I mean, if my sister could. She's home from college on break. Harmony's place is on her way, so she said she'd swing by and give me a ride. And you too, if that's okay. Why would I never notice how nice Connor really was? Okay, how many times could I use the word nice about someone? And he was more than just nice. He was smart, and he was a good listener, and he was really confident, and... I was starting to sound like Harmony talking about Raj now. Thanks for offering me the ride, I said. I guess he'd planned that so he could have a chance to talk to me about Jennifer in private. If you want to, I could have my sister give you a ride home this week. Like whenever she's taking me. If you want to. If you have something going on after school, I wouldn't. But on other days, instead of the bus. And then, if you want, you could sometimes stop at my house and we could hang or watch a video or something. That all came out in kind of a rush. Connor suddenly sounded not so much like his usual confident self. Does that mean what I think it might mean? Okay, yeah. I couldn't really meet his eye, so I pulled my backpack on and then jumped off the wall. Or tried to anyway. Oof! I fell backward off the wall. Again. Great. I'm on the ground, on my back, weighed down by my 250-pound backpack. Connor's face appeared over the wall. Are you okay? He asked, all concerned. Oh, what the heck. No, I'm not okay, I said out loud and confessed right to Connor. I'm totally humiliated. But Isabella would say to laugh this off, like if it happened to someone else. I would think it's funny, right? So I'm supposed to think it's funny, even if it happened to me, and just laugh about it. So ha ha ha, I grumbled. Well, it was pretty funny. Great. Connor's trying not to crack up. It's not working. He's cracking up. Okay, I started cracking up too. It was a teeny tiny little bit funny. Connor kind of pulled me up to my feet and held my hands for 1 second longer than he needed to. I think we better find you a safer seat, Connor said, pointing to a little sports car pulling up. You and I will have to squeeze in the back. I hope you don't mind squishing a little. Pop quiz. If you could be squished in a car with one person from Whitaker High, who would you choose? A. Marco Vega. B. The kid who stole the dissected frog from biology. C. Sawyer Sullivan. Just kidding. D. Connor Griffin. The way it should be is the way it now is. I hope you enjoy how my private personal journal became a bestseller. I think this is a very powerful story. It's a little bit old and everything. It was published in 2004, but I think it's worth the reading. So I hope you all have a great read aloud session with me, and I'll see you at the next book. Bye!